I will be with you at 7 o'clock, guys, just to let you know. I'm just doing a couple of technical things. Got a surprise for Lead Belly tonight. Yes, indeed. have another Joe show. Hello everybody, and thank you very, very much indeed for joining me. As ever, let me get myself comfortable. I'm going to be doing a few hellos in a moment. I always start with a little bit of a song. Alright, so I'm going to do the same. I'm not going to spoil it, I'm going to go with tradition. There we go. I wanna build me a house on higher ground. I wanna find me a world where love's the only sound. High above this road, filled with shadow and doubt, I wanna shoulder my load, figure it all out with Leah. You got it, Bob. Didn't think anyone would know it. I walk this road with a hammer and a fiery lantern. With this hand I've built, and with this I've burned. I wanna live in the same house, beneath the same roof, sleep in the same bed, search for the same truth as Leah. I got something in my heart I've been waiting to give. I got a life I want to start, yeah, one I'm waiting to live. No more waiting, tonight I feel the light, I say the prayer, I open up the door, I climb the stairs with Leah. With Leah. And there we have it, a little bit of Bruce Springsteen for you. You get me words out correctly. Wow, we got everybody here. We got Scott Green-Mile. Welcome on board to the Patreon as well. Paul Hilliker, Giles, Karam Bell, Claudia. We got Andrew. Great to see you, Andrew. And Colleen's here. She's got a new guitar. We got Sal Cook and Brian Dennis, Wayne Dell, Mark Taylor in France. And we've got Adrian Hall Wilson with us tonight, everybody. One of my good buddies, who is also a Liverpool fan. I wasn't sure he's going to be checking in tonight. That's great to see you, Aid. And we got Michael, we got Jeff, we got everybody here tonight. We've got some new faces, and that's fantastic. So there you hear my rendition of a Bruce Springsteen song called Leia. Really nice song and very, very simple. Maybe it's one I can look at in the future if anybody's interested out there. There's a whole lot of kind of material that I can cover. And I'm going to touch on a few songs I haven't played in many years tonight, okay? It's great to see you all. I've been looking forward to tonight's show, so it's finally come, and we've got ourselves underway. We've got Willem, and we've got Patricia, we've got Jeff, we've got Michael Deckier, We've got Captain John from Fort Lauderdale and Biddy Shout 'em Up from South Yorkshire. We've got Julie as well, Ferrari, Jeff Teasdale, and we've got Raphael Franco as well, and David Stanley, not to forget David. And we've got old Katie, or young Katie. I've got a little surprise for Katie. She doesn't know about that yet, but that's going to be coming later on in the show. Don't be worried, Katie. It's nothing to worry about. And we've got Jonathan Impens, and I'm sure we've got a whole lot more. So let's get started. There's a few things that I really would like to cover with you tonight. First of all, I'd just like to say a great big thanks to David Stanley for your donation, which came in very early. That entitles you to a VIP seat, David, so I hope you're comfortable in those posh seats. So I would just like to thank you, because obviously it really helps me out tremendously during this lockdown. I know that everybody's probably struggling in one way or another during lockdown. So I'd like to thank you for that, David. I'd also like us all to give Bob Hardy a great big round of applause, because I mentioned last week on the show that when we were doing the play along for Neil Young's, what was it we played, Heart of Gold, that I didn't have a harmonica that worked. And if anybody wanted to get me one, then they were very, very welcome. Well, Bob didn't waste any time, and a few days later I had a lovely little package turn up which had 2 harmonicas and a harmonica kind of stand for around your neck so you can play while you're playing guitar. So I'd like us all to give Bob a great big round of applause. Thank you, Bob, very, very much indeed. I really do appreciate that. And I'm hoping that by the time the next Joe show comes around, I'll be able to play you something on the harmonica. I just simply have not had the time since they turned up, Bob. Obviously, I've got them out and I've had a little bit of a blow, but it's been a long time since I've played. So, you know, you just bear with me. Hopefully it will be worth the wait, and I will perform something for you in a fortnight's time. I do have something in mind, but I'm also open to suggestions and things like that. So, yeah, Bob, fantastic. Really, really do appreciate that massively, okay? So, I wanted to kind of talk to you. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about soloing tonight, okay? I'm going to be playing a few things. We're going to be doing our play along and all those other things as well. So we've got a lot of ground to cover as usual. And hopefully we're going to get through it all this week, because very often I find that I get to the end of the show and there's still many, many things that I haven't touched upon. So they have to all be pushed forward to the next Joe show. So I hope that you're all kind of keeping very well out there during this difficult time as well. That's the most important thing. So I just wanted to kind of talk to some of you about soloing and things like that, because generally speaking, what I will do is do a lot of beginner stuff, and I don't always do a whole lot for people who are a little bit past that beginner stage and things. And one of the questions I get asked more than anything really is, how can I solo and things? Well, as you can imagine, that's a pretty loaded question, and it doesn't lend itself to a very simplistic answer. You know, there are many, many factors that you need to take into account. Now, as I've always said, every time that you pick up the guitar, you are improving. So don't be telling yourself anything other than that, because every time you pick it up, you are improving. So that's obviously the first step. Now, with melody and soloing, I tend to think there are no real shortcuts, and it's all about training your ears to hear things properly. And once you can hear things, I mean, this is a difficult subject, because when obviously we all hear things, yeah, but what I mean is hear them on a level whereby you have some inkling as to what is happening. Now that takes time to develop. Sure, we can hear these notes perhaps in a solo and things like that, but it's very, very difficult to replicate them. So that's what I mean. We need to listen and we need to practice. We need to play along with some of the things that we like, just so we can get in the ballpark. Now, I've spoken to you about minor pentatonics as something that always come up a great deal, as do, you know, this is something that you can usually just play this shape. We've talked about it before. I'm not going to go there right now again, but Even if you just know one of those positions, then you can doodle around within any given key. But what I wanted to kind of put out there, hey Fedexto, good to see you. Yeah, so what I would like to say this time as well is that something that gets overlooked quite a lot is the major pentatonic. And I talked to you on the last show about how you can find the major pentatonic for any given key. So, you know, if we were given that you know that position 1 pentatonic scale, and let me just quickly run through it because it doesn't take a minute. So if it's in A, then we're looking at 5/8, and I'm just going to go down the strings, okay, because time is of the essence here. So we've got 5/8, 5/7, 5/7, 5/7, 5/8, 5/8, yeah, 5/8, 5/8, 5/7, 5/7, 5/7, 5/8. And if we want, so if we were playing in A minor, then we could use that and play a few little things, you know, around that A minor. But if we want to play the A major, like I said to you, you just go back 3 frets, 1, 2, 3, and you play exactly the same thing. Like so, only now we're playing 2/5, 2/4, 2/4, 2/4, 2/5, 2/5. And I know I'm going quick tonight, guys, but that's just so I can squeeze everything in. It's fairly easy to find out that pentatonic shape, okay? So for the major, we just move it back 3 frets, and then we play that same figure, all right? And then if we were playing a major, this kind, then in this position, then we can use that kind of, you know, it's the pentatonic, it's that minor pentatonic, but just move back to a different place. So I wanted to show you another way that you can find this kind of pentatonic, right? So as I say, you can go back 3 for the major, but another way, and just remember I'm talking major here, guys, so let's not get too kind of confused, all right? So with the major, you know this A shape, okay? It's an A chord, and I often play it like that, okay? And as you know, you can move chords up, so you'd have an A sharp, a B, a C, a D, a C sharp, sorry, and D, and so forth, and so on and so forth, I should say. Okay, so that's another way that we can find the major pentatonic. In other words, if we want to play the A major pentatonic scale, then we find this A position, and that will show us where we play it. Okay, so for example, this here is a D chord, and again we're using this A shape. Okay, so that means we can use our shape here. So wherever you use this kind of A shape, and this goes back to caged, okay, and I'll touch on a little bit of that in a while. I don't want to lose everybody with too much theory, okay? Now, as Willem has just pointed out, when you are playing the major pentatonic, okay, like I've just said, the minor would be on the 5th. So if I was playing A minor, I'd be on the 5th here. And if we want to find the major, we go back 3, 1, 2, 3. But rather than start with this note here, this F sharp, we start with the second note, which is the A. Okay, so start with this note, a good idea. Okay, so that should just kind of give you some kind of pointers about the major pentatonic scale. And I'm going to come back to this in a moment, okay, because there's a lot of stuff that we want to go through, all right? Let me just take this off. I'm absolutely roasting here. I thought it was going to be cold tonight, but it's turned out to be a lot warmer than I thought it was going to be. So that's, whoops, sorry about that, folks. So that's our major pentatonic. So give it some thought. All it is a minor pentatonic, moved down 3 frets. or you can use this shape like I said, and wherever you play that shape to play the chord, so if it was A, you'd be playing the major pentatonic here. Okay, so it comes from this shape here. That's a D, so it means you'd start here. And you can check it because this is the D. Back 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you should be able now to find your way around these pentatonics. If nothing else, just position 1. Alright, so hopefully that will help you, even if it's a little bit. So, onwards and upwards. Now, some of you may have noticed that yesterday I uploaded a video, and it was a Robert Johnson song, and these Robert Johnson songs seem to be going down very, very well with all the folks on Patreon, and just generally all the people on YouTube as well. And I can see why, because Robert Johnson's done some fantastic music, and I suppose as a blues player, it's one of the pinnacles. It's one of the things that you want to be able to play. And, you know, I think personally that it's at the very least intermediate, and in some senses you could be construed as advanced. Certainly some of his numbers. Now, I've been tackling the easier numbers of his to play, so some of them are going to be approachable for you. And I've done easy versions of things like Sweet Home Chicago, and with this current video that I'm going to be releasing tomorrow, which is a Patreon exclusive. Okay, so if you're a Patreon, then you can go watch this tomorrow. It's going to have the tabs and everything else there. Then you're going to be able to play not just the version that I play, but a simplified version. Okay, so for anybody who didn't actually hear that upload yesterday, I'm going to run through a little bit of that right now, so you can just hear the Robert Johnson, and it's called 3220 Blues, and it's a very, very nice song, this one. Well worth learning. If you're a beginner, you can just kind of play the basic chords. Okay, as I say, if you're a patron, you'll be able to see all this tomorrow, so I won't waste time going into it too much now. Let me just kind of play you a little bit of it. If I send for my baby and she don't come, if I send for my baby and she don't come, all the doctors in Hot Springs sure can't help her none. And if she gets unruly, things she don't wanna do. If she gets unruly, things she don't wanna do. Take my 3220 now and I cut her half in two. She got a 38 special, but I believe it's much too light. She got a 38 special, but I believe it's much too light. I got a 3220, gotta make the caps alright. If I send for my baby and she don't come, send for my baby and she don't come, I got a 3220 now and I cut her half in two. I'm gonna shoot my pistol, gonna shoot my Gatling gun. Gonna shoot my pistol, gonna shoot my Gatling gun. Got my 3220, gonna get them caps alright. Alright, let's play it now. I send for my baby and she don't come, if I send for my baby and she don't come, got a 3220 now, cut her half in two. So it goes something like that, yeah. It's one of those things you kind of want to warm up a little bit with a lot of this kind of Robert Johnson stuff. But as I've said in the video there, you can just play all this kind of stuff very basic. If you've got a solid rhythm, you'll be fine. You just got your A chord, D chord, A, E, D, A, turn around, high A, so you know anybody can have a go at this. You can always simplify these numbers, so don't despair if you're a beginner. There's always a way to kind of try and play some of these things, and that's what I'm going to be trying to do with any of this kind of blues stuff that I do in the future. If I feel it's very difficult, then I'm always going to try and put a basic version out for you, because then what you can do is, like I've said, you can start out basic, just playing basic chords like an A, like so, you know that, right? And then you just learn up this kind of D shape, and you still get a feel for it. You play your E, and if you're more advanced, then you can kind of speed it up and you can play with a little bit more, you know. And, you know, so you can kind of do what you want with these songs. That's the nice thing about it. You can just go in there and do it simple, or you can just try and do a little bit more than that. So hopefully you'll all be having a go at that one. That's going to arrive with you tomorrow, and I'll be very, very interested to see how you get on with that. And please keep me posted, because I'm really interested just to know how you get on with these things. It's amazing, but you know, I was thinking about this yesterday, that I more or less wrapped the video up yesterday and got it completed. And it took me best part of 4 days to do a 20-minute video. So that'll just give you some idea. And it's not because I'm very slow or anything like that, but there's quite a lot involved with these videos. And by the time you've tabbed out these parts and things, you think, my word, how on earth could that take so long just for 20 minutes of video? But that's what you're looking at sometimes when you're doing these type of things. So the model of the guitar is a Martin CEO7 Julie, just in case you're interested. Okay, we've got Dipro here. You can't do that triplet. It takes time. It takes time, but you will get there, David. I don't have any doubt. The thing is to play these things slowly, okay? So let's move on. Like I say, we've got quite a little bit of stuff to take a look at here. Now, going back to soloing and things like that. If you just take the basic pentatonic, one thing that I would advise is try and just be tuneful, even on a very basic level. Okay, so rather than just going up and down and all like this kind of thing, it just doesn't sound musical, yeah? So what you've got to try and do is create little tunes, create little melodies. That really is the way to learn how to play solo guitar in a way. So, you know, you can just start off just... Yeah, I suppose really what you're doing is you're just starting off with little licks, trying to make licks from this shape, you know? I think that the more you do that, and the more that you add articulations, I've spoken to you about this before, you know, that it's a very, very useful thing to know about bending the strings, pulling off, you know, kind of sliding back, sliding forward, because it breaks up the monotony of just not musical. But when you start going, it starts becoming a little bit more melodic. So my tip for you would be to just try and work with 1 or 2 shapes and see if you can just create some of your own licks. Now, I did a few videos recently, which I'm sure most of you are aware of, where it was 3 blues licks and 3 turnarounds and things like that. Well, those 3 blues licks, they're pretty much things that you could come up with yourself. And I would love to hear some of your ideas over on the Facebook group page. If there's anybody out there who's kind of would be good, kind enough to share your ideas with us, I would really like to see how you can take these ideas that I'm putting out there and come up with things of your own, some of your own licks. I'd really like to hear those. And who knows, if somebody posts something which is really great, then maybe I can add it to one of my lessons or something like that. Maybe that's a bit of incentive for you to do something like that. Okay, so as I say, we're touching on these solo ideas, so we're looking to be melodic with just a few notes. It can be done. You can just be. Just try and just experiment. This is something that I say to the students that I teach face to face, is that one thing you should always leave time for is practice and experimenting within that practice. Obviously, we all practice and things, but just to think about nothing other than just creating simple melodies. Because often we can be tied up learning songs or different techniques or this and that. But if you don't dedicate some time to your solo work, then it's really kind of stands to reason that it's not going to improve a whole lot. So if you can just spend 10 minutes, just trying to find a few little melodic things, and you do that repetitively, over a week, and you get into that habit, then I think that you're going to start seeing results. Okay, now I'm going to play you another tune, and then I'm going to come back with a few more little tips, kind of more practical, real world tips that might help you as well. All right. So what have I got on my playlist here? Now, I should also add that I hope that you've all got your guitars ready, because we're going to be having our play along tonight. I haven't forgotten about that. I tend to leave that towards the end of the show. And we're going to be looking at Eric Clapton tonight, Before You Accuse Me. Really looking forward to us all playing along that song. Hopefully you've had time to have a look at it. I'll give you a quick run through the arrangement before we play it. Just giving you a heads up now so you can get your guitars ready, have your pen and paper, because you never know what you're really going to hear on the show. And pen and paper is great for just scribbling out a few of those little ideas as they occur to you. Okay, so we're going to be coming back to that playlist, the play along, before too long. I've got a couple of other little songs that I'd like to run past you before the hour is up. And a couple of songs actually that I haven't played in a long time, so I'm taking a little bit of a chance with that, but I like to do that. And I would also like to suggest that you do that. Always try and bring yourself out of your comfort zone from time to time. I know things are very difficult at the moment with COVID and things like that. We're just not seeing the kind of the amount of people that we ordinarily would, so it makes it very difficult. But whenever you get the opportunity to play for people, you should always really try and do that, because it's just a great thing. And it's another step on with your playing, because generally I think when people are learning, they hide themselves away and kind of strum away, and it's not the most pleasant thing to listen to if you're just, it's your wife or something and all she hears is you kind of practicing an E chord or something like this for 3 weeks. Then it does get a little bit. But if you can kind of play a song in its entirety, then you should try and take that to as many people as you possibly can, because it's great for you to get feedback. This is why one of the reasons we have the Facebook group page. I love listening to you guys. And so many of you are out there as well. Hello there, Emrig. I don't know exactly how to pronounce your name, but it's great to see you here. And we got Jeff as well. Yeah. That's not just Coke you're drinking. Well, it could be. It could be. Okay, so should play you another song. Well, I would if I could find my capo, and I keep doing this. I keep putting it down and losing track of it. All right. So as I said, sometimes I like to throw myself a curveball and throw myself in at the deep end and see if I can come out the other side. One very, very important thing to do when you're playing and you're putting yourself in a difficult situation is to never stop. And it's a difficult thing because if you make a mistake, you instinctively stop, you know? And then you've given the game away effectively. I mean, we all make mistakes. Let's make no bones about that. Even the greatest players, you know, they make mistakes, right? But one thing they don't do is stop. So it's a very, very important lesson to start playing on early on in your guitar playing career, because it becomes like a muscle memory thing. And if you continue to stop when you make mistakes, then that will be what tends to happen. So you don't want to form any bad habits when it comes to that. And so always play on, right? I might have to do that myself now. All right, okay. So let's just see. See if I can play this one for you. See if anybody knows what this one is. Sat together in the park as the evening sky grew dark. She looked at him and he felt a spark tingle to his bones. 'Twas then he felt alone and wished that he'd gone straight and watched out for a simple twist of fate. They walked along by the old canal, a little confused, I remember well. He stopped into a strange hotel with a neon burning bright. He felt the heat of the night hit him like a freight train, moving with a simple twist of fate. Saxophone, some far-off place, played as she was walking by the arcade. A light burst through a beat-up shade where he was waking up. She dropped a coin into the cup of a blind man at the gate and forgot about the simple twist of fate. Woke up, the room was bare. He didn't see her anywhere. He told himself he didn't care, pushed the window open wide, felt the emptiness inside, to which he could not relate, brought on by a simple twist of fate. Hears the ticking of the clocks and walks along with a parrot that talks, hunts her down by the waterfront docks where the sailors all come in. Maybe she'll pick him out again. How long must he wait? One more for a simple twist of fate. This is where my harmonic is going to come in next time. People tell me it's a sin to know I feel too much within. I still believe she was my twin, but I lost the ring. She was born in the spring, but I was born too late. Blame it on a simple twist of fate. It wasn't too bad. That was Bob Dylan's Simple Twist of Fate. All right, okay. So I hope that went down okay, yeah? I know it wasn't absolutely out of this world or anything, but like I say, there's nothing like having a go at something. If it all goes wrong, it doesn't matter, you know? You've made an effort and you've tried to do it. And that's what it's about, really. It's really just about taking part and having fun and not feeling too pressured. I remember when I started out and things like that and I had opportunities to play, and I very often would shy away from it because I was very shy, you know, and I always found that a very, very difficult thing to do. Even though I was good enough to do it, I just, you know, it's just something about being shy that kind of held me back a little bit. So don't make that mistake, because it really is just about taking part. And, you know, as I say, we all make mistakes, and it's not the end of the world if you make a mistake, even if you were to stop, you know. But do try and play on, because it will really, really help you. All right. So now I wanted to come back to the solo idea, because, you know, I like to try. I get the feeling that it's something that a lot of people are really wanting to do, you know. And so we've looked at a few ideas, okay? So try and find melodies in the simplest things, just 2 or 3 notes, 4 notes, 5 notes. You should be able to come up with some really, really nice licks. And then, you know, melody is just about extending those licks. Now, I've mentioned to you a few times on previous shows, excuse me, about the cage system. And I'm not going to go into a great big long explanation now, because I've done a video on it, and you only need to search Joe Murphy Caged and you'll get a real good idea as to what it's all about. Now, essentially what it is it's caged. You've got C, A, G, E, D. That's how we spell the word, and they're the chords that it relates to. A C chord, an A chord, a G chord, an E chord, and a D chord. And what it means in essence is that you can take any one of those chords and move them up the neck. Now, for people who aren't really into scales and struggle with all this kind of major, minor, melodic, you know, pentatonic, Aeolian, all these other kind of things, for people who struggle with that, if you have a good chord knowledge and you devote a little bit of practice and time to the cage system, you don't actually need all these scales, because if you take a D chord going all the way up the neck, okay, so we've got this first position here. So we can play that over a D for a start off. They're just all the notes of a D chord in the first position. Yeah? Alright. You go up to position 2, which is kind of here, right? It's a D chord. So we've got a D chord here. And then actually, out of that D, you can play a C. See the way I've tagged a C onto the end of that chord? So that gives us some more notes. Now, that's nothing to do with scales. It's to do with chords, okay? We got Position 1. Position 2. Yeah, and on we go. And all I'm doing is I'm playing these D shapes going up the neck. Just the notes that live in the chords. And if you think about it, if you're playing in D, then anything you play in a D chord is going to work, right? All right, so I could be up here. Or I could be down here. So another good thing to do is that once you get a handle on these kind of chord shapes going up the neck, then you can kind of play a lick up here. And you can try and play the same lick down here. Or by going all the way up like so. Okay, so that's just your D. D again. And then again. And again. So I'm hoping that kind of, you know, that will give you some inspiration to explore chord positions, because really, I know there's a lot of people out there who struggle with, you know, scales and trying to make sense of scales and trying to make them sound musical as well. And I actually think in some ways this system is easier in a way, because you're just playing these chords, you know. And as I say, once you fully explore them, and that isn't difficult, you know, that's something you can do in a couple of evenings, you know. You've got a D chord here, you got a D chord here, you got a D chord here, yeah, you got a D chord here, you got a D chord here, you got a D chord here, bit difficult up there, but they're all D chords. Now, as you can see, that's not going to take you a long time to learn something like that. It really is kind of something you can do in an evening or two. Okay, so I would, if it's something that you're interested in, at least try and explore it and see if you can have any joy with it, and see if it does get you in that kind of area whereby some of the things that you're doing are a little bit more musical. So you can play this D, then a D7, go to say a G, I mean, that's just off the top of my head, thinking of the chords and thinking of the chord shapes. So enough said about that. The ball is kind of very much in your court. I think this is something that's well worth making a video about. How you can use chord tones is essentially what we're talking about here. So maybe that's something, you know, that I can do for you in the future, because I do believe it'll be really, really helpful for you. So, let me see now. Are we ready for another song, or shall I carry on talking? Hello, Marco. Great to see you. We got Jack Marina as well. Wonderful life. Hey, I'm glad it helped you, Jack. That's great news. We got a lot of kind of new people as well, all right? And Sal Cook. And Colleen, by the way, has got a new guitar, a Breedlove guitar, and it's absolutely fantastic. Bit of both. Patricia wants a song. Yeah, I know Pat always wants a song. She doesn't want any talking or any chat. And she wants me to put my cap on. Apparently, I'm not good enough for you without my cap. So I'd like to put that to the vote. Cap or no cap? I'd like to think I don't have to put a cap on to kind of play for you all. But perhaps you can tell me. Hey John, I like it. The dog is kind of enjoying the show. That sounds fantastic. Okay, Dipro, I will be playing you a song. Michael Dickier, no cap. Thank you very much. As is, thank you, Terry. Thank you, Sal. There you go, Pat. That's an answer for you. Cap for street cred. Thank you, Jeff. You're there, endless, nameless, great. Ali Hansen, baby, please don't go. Baby, please don't go down to New Orleans. But a little bit out of practice on that one, I'm afraid. Oh, you can play that, can you? What can you play, Lead Belly? You can play Baby Please Don't Go. That's fantastic. Hey, Jack, Marina, J'adore. That's great. No Leo tonight. I don't think. I haven't seen him singing the blues. Biddy, shout 'em up. That's a great song. Yeah. We're looking good without. Thank you very, very much indeed. All right. I think it's time for another song. And this is a little surprise that I've got in store for Katie. And she's... I know that she really, really likes this. And I've been meaning to just try and, thank you, Bill. Thank you very, very much. David Smith, we've got as well. We've got Dirt Worshipper. We've got Oliveira from Brazil. Good football team out there, Oliver. Right, I'm going to play you another song now, folks. I've done enough kind of talking. Are we ready for another one? I think the answer is going to be yes, probably. You've probably heard enough of me talking, haven't you? Meet me in the morning, 56 and Wabasha. Meet me in the morning, 56 and Wabasha. Honey, we could be in Kansas by the shore and the snow begins to thaw. Do you know what? I'm gonna have to stop. Here's me telling you not to stop. I was wondering what was wrong. I haven't got my capo on. So you see, I am human. I was thinking, this doesn't sound right. All right, let's try that one again, right? Hopefully you haven't had enough of it yet. That's better. Meet me in the morning, that's better. 56 and Wabasha. Meet me in the morning, 56 and Wabasha. Honey, we could be in Kansas by the time this snow begins to thaw. They say the darkest hour is right before the dawn. They say the darkest hour is right before the dawn. But you wouldn't know it by me. Every day's been darkness since you've been gone. rooster crowing. He must have something on his mind. Little rooster crowing. He must have something on his mind. Well, I feel just like that rooster. Honey, you treat me so unkind. I struggle through barbed wire. I felt the hail fall from above. Well, I struggle through barbed wire. Felt the hail fall from above. Well, you know, I even outrun the hound dogs. Honey, you know I have earned your love. Look at that sun, sinking like a ship. Look at that sun, sinking like a ship. Ain't that just like my heart, babe? When you kiss my lips. There you go. I thought I'd get it done for you one of these days, Leadbelly. So there you have it. Not the greatest. I haven't had any time to practice the thing. I haven't played it for years. And ordinarily, I think it's played in an open tuning. But I hope that some of you enjoyed it. It's another song by Bob Dylan. So we've had a little bit of a Bob Dylan fest tonight, haven't we, folks? So, oh, please, right there, Katie. So, right, so yeah, that's all good. I'm glad that I could get around to playing that for you, Leadbelly. It's pleasure's all mine, okay? So I'd like to tell you now to all get your guitars ready, because we're going to do a little bit of we're going to do our play along, essentially, yeah? And it's going to be Eric Clapton, Before You Accuse Me. Now, what I would like this week is for those people who are more kind of consider themselves intermediate or advanced, right? We're going to back you tonight so you can do some solo work, all right? So while we're chugging away like this, you can be... You can be doing all your licks all over the place, all right? So it'll be great to hear you doing that. I'm relying on the more intermediate, advanced players out there to give it a few licks while we're backing you tonight, all right? I'm going to be part of the backing group tonight with all the other folks, all the beginners and the people who are just going to play the rhythm with me, all right? So have you all got your guitars ready? I want to see, this is where I like to see yes, 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 yes up on the comments. And then when I get a few of these kind of comments come up, see, Richard is ready, Paul is ready, John is ready, Jeff is ready. This is great. Okay, Terry's ready. That's good. Wayne's ready. Ken's ready. Michael's ready. Leadbelly's ready. We got another Michael ready. We got Dirt Worshipper ready. Jerry Cash, Scott. Great stuff, Scott. Colin's got a new guitar. Sal's ready. Raphael, David Stanley, Dipro, Jack Marina. Wow, we're ready. We're ready to roll. I don't know what I'm waiting for. I'm just going to get straight into this one for you now, okay? So here we go. Are we ready? I'm just going to talk you through this, folks, right? We've got we've got 3 verses. That's 3 that I'm going to sing with you. And then it's going to be an instrumental verse for all the intermediate players to play over and do their solo work, okay? Because I want to bring something to the intermediate players. I know there's quite a few of you out there, and I often touch on beginnerish type things when I do the show. So I wanted to do a little something for you guys tonight. So please, let's hear those solos coming out. And you can come up here, you know, on the 10th and 12th fret. You know, I've covered all this in the lesson. Do all this kind of stuff. So you can mess around with all that kind of stuff while we back you up. Are we ready then, folks? I'm going to get us started now. All right. One. And we're going to have a intro, all right? So after I count a 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to go. And then we're into the E, all right? Just so you know. Remember, 3 verses, then instrumental. Anybody who doesn't play, I'd like you to sing along tonight. All right. All right, there's a lot of people playing tonight. I'm definitely going to be hearing you coming through the ether. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Before you accuse me, take a look at yourself. Well done. Before you accuse me, take a look at yourself. You've been running around other women, take on my head from someone else. I called your mama 3 or 4 nights ago. Excellent. Hey, I called your mama 3 or 4 nights ago. Well, your mother said, son, don't call my daughter no more. Before you accuse me, take a look at yourself. Before you accuse me, take a look at yourself. You've been taking money from someone else. Taking money from someone else. Solos. Away you go, guys. Well done, rhythm section. Just listen to them licks. Fantastic. Well played, guys. Come back home, baby. Try my love one more time. Come back home, baby. Try my love one more time. You know if things don't go to suit you, I think I'll lose my mind. Before you accuse me, take a look at yourself. Before you accuse me, take a look at yourself. You've been running around on women, taking money from someone else. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant stuff that, folks. Really, really well done. And those of you who soloed, well done. It's a great opportunity for you to practice your licks there. And well done to the rhythm section. I love our little play-alongs. Who's Joe's voice reminds me of? Jack Bruce from Cream. Okay, I haven't heard him actually, Katie. So I wouldn't know. I haven't heard the guy speak a whole lot. So, anyways, what was going to say? So this play along thing is really a great thing, and I really do enjoy us doing this every fortnight. Now, for those of you who aren't sure, we vote for that over on Patreon, okay? And anybody can do it. You don't have to be a Patreon to do that, but it's most important that you vote, okay? Please check this video at the end, once it's uploaded, maybe tomorrow or something like that. And I'll make sure there's a link to the Facebook group page and my Patreon page, okay? Because you want to keep an eye on the Facebook page, because I kind of keep updating people there as well as the Patreon page. Okay, now I'll just give Patreon a very, very quick mention. For anybody who isn't a patron, please go along to my Patreon page, link down below. You can support me there, help me to continue on what I do, and I would very much appreciate it. Enough said about that. I know that 90% of you folks here tonight are already patrons, and I would just like to take this opportunity to thank you very, very much indeed for your continued support. It really helps me to continue getting that content out there. Without you guys, I just simply couldn't do it. So I'm very, very grateful to you for that. So thank you very much. Okay, well, it looks like we're kind of out of time again. Time has kind of beaten us. That's our hour, which is gone and passed us by. So I would like to say a huge thank you for joining me tonight. It really is brilliant to have you all here. I really look forward to doing this show on a fortnightly basis. And it's just great because I know there's going to be a turnout. I know I'm not going to be sat here on my own. And I know that you appreciate what I do. And without you, it just wouldn't be anything, all right? So you make the show just as much as I make the show. So please turn up every fortnight. It means a great deal to me and everybody else. Okay, so I just want to check that I haven't forgotten anything before I disappear. Okay, because sometimes, as I say, I kind of just to quickly recap, what we are going to do is, when you're talking about soloing, my tips for the week are to try and come up with melodies with 3 or 4 notes. You'd be surprised how much you can do just with 4 notes. Remember the chord tones going up the neck and how you can use those. Remember the major pentatonic as well. That's the most kind of underused things. It all tends to be around the minor scale. The more that you pick it up, the more that you play, the more time you dedicate to trying to be melodic with your playing, the more it will happen. I'm always here for you. Whenever you need my help, you only need to give me a shout out on Patreon. I'll be only too happy to help you. You're helping me, and so I like to help you in return. So you can always email me, and you can always send me a message. I will always do my very best to get back to you. Okay, so that's kind of covered a lot of the things that I was hoping to do for you tonight. Give us another. Okay, everybody's asking for another song. Okay, well, I wasn't really expecting that. Okay, well, maybe I will do another song then. Yeah, all right, fair enough. Let me see what I've got here that I can do for you. How about a little bit of I can either do for you San Francisco Bay Blues is quite a nice song, or I can do you a J.J. Cale song. You choose and I'll play. All right, I'll give you all a moment to respond to that for anybody who can stick around for another song. Then you tell me, you tell me what it was. Hello there, Colette. It's nice to have you here today. I haven't seen you here before. I hope this isn't the last time that you'll come. It's wonderful to see new faces. J.J. Cale, we've got J.J. Cale, San Fran, J.J. Cale, San Fran, J.J. Cale. Oh, what am I going to do now? Oh, wow. J.J. Cale, San Francisco. All right. Well, now I've dug myself a big hole here, haven't I? Because the audience is divided. All right. So I better do a little bit of both. All right. Here we go. got the blues for my baby, let me down San Francisco Bay. The ocean liner gone so far away. Didn't mean to treat her so bad. She was the best girl I ever did have. She said goodbye, I can take a cry. I wanna lay down and die. Well, I ain't got a nickel and I ain't got a lousy dime. If she don't come back, I think I'm gonna lose my mind. If she ever gets back to stay, it's gonna be another brand new day. Walking with my baby down San Francisco Bay. Sitting down looking for my back door, wondering which way to go. The woman I'm so crazy about, she don't love me no more. Think I'll catch me a freight train, 'cause I'm feeling blue. Crawling way to the end of the line, thinking only you. Meanwhile in another city, just about to go insane. Thought I heard my baby love, the way she used to call my name. If I ever get her back to stay, it's gonna be another brand new day. Walking with my baby down San Francisco Bay. Walking with my baby down San Francisco Bay. Walking with my baby down San Francisco Bay. Right, there's your San Francisco Bay. And now, you might be right, you could be wrong. I ain't saying our love is gone. Who would know? Only you and I. It'll come again, this love of ours, if we try. I never doubt the things you say. It's all about the way we play. We gotta live before we die. It'll come again, this love of ours, if we try. Maybe we're looking for new changes. Maybe we're acting out the part. Maybe we're trying to rearrange us. Maybe we're looking for a new start. Forget tomorrow, it'll never come. I dream of sorrow when it come undone. From bad to worse, I won't deny. It'll come again, this love of ours, if we try. It'll come again, this love of ours, if we try. It'll come again, this love of ours, if we try. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen, I should say. So that's both I did for you there. A little bit of San Fran and a little bit of JJ Cale. And now it's time for me to give you all a little personal shout out, a goodbye, and a thank you very much to everybody, starting with John Northgate, Dipro, Terry Cook. Terry, thanks again for your donation, very kind. Super Ring of Fire. All right, thanks for the reminder. Richard Benton, hey Richard, it's great to see you. Paul Hilliker, Jeff Westgarth, Joe Yabor, thank you Joe, you're a new one. Scott Green Mile, great to see you. Michael Burke, Jack Marina, Colette, Alex, Andrew Marriott, Mick31, great Mick, David Stanley, Rod Simmons, Johan D, Wayne Dell, Fedexto, Jeff Teasdale, Julie Flower. Is there anybody else I've forgotten? Mark Taylor, Sal Cook, There's got to be a few more. Colleen, yeah, Katie. I'm glad I could play a few little things for you tonight. Giles, Jack Marina, Raphael, Ken McKinley, Ken, great. Petula, Paul Hilliker, Brad Flint. Wow, I'm so lucky to have such a fantastic audience. Terry Cook, I'd just like to wish you all a great weekend, a great week, in fact, a great fortnight. And Bob, thank you so much, Bob, for sending me those harmonicas and the holder. I really am grateful to you for that, and I will be showing you as much when we're back here. We've got Frankie Pye as well. Merci to you too. Wayne Ingram, Julie Ferrari, Pat, thank you very much. Majid, thank you. All take care of yourselves. Look forward to seeing you all in a fortnight. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Take care. All the very best. Bye-bye.